All right, hey guys, what's going on? It's that home theater dude. Got a brand new episode for today. As you know, I'm in the brand new space, right? You guys have caught on to the couple of videos back whenever I did that thumbnail for the theater reveal, kind of showing you the journey from beginning to end on building it out. You guys called me out on it. You guys noticed that these were the Atlantic Technologies in the thumbnail, so I'm not switching over just yet. I don't know which brand I'm going to be having in this brand new space or the space going on for the Forever Theater, but these things are very impressive. I've been able to do get my hands on these things and let you guys know what I think about them. I'm going to do a quick review. This is the 8600 series, whether it be the C or the L and the R's for the towers. These things are extremely impressive, but I'm going to get into all that and I'll do it right after the intro. Well, all right, let's start with talking about the towers, right? So these are massive freaking towers. I didn't necessarily keep the SVS ones in the frame, you know, just for filming purposes. I've had my stuff set, so I didn't want to take them out of where they're positioned to film this video, but the height of these things is very, very incredible, as well as a lot of the other features in this one. I'm going to leave some of the quick specs right on the screen right now so you guys can pause this part of the video and check them out. But these are fully enclosed. They're sealed, made out of 3/4 inch MDF, acoustically inert box. It does have a fancy crossover network in there, and I learned this back whenever I was doing engineering. It's called a Butterworth crossover, so that it gives you the beef of what you want and nothing else that you don't. So that's really, really cool. They also have a substantial network on the back there to make this thing sing perfectly. They have little switches, toggle switches, to make it to where you have it in a room that reverberates a lot, like right here, right now, because I don't have any acoustic treatments in here. They are coming, by the way. But you can have a switch in there for a room that reverberates a lot, room that's average, and then the room that's severely treated. So you can have 3 different angles of attack on that one. And then you also have the ability to have these things behind a projection screen. So they have a little switch over network in there as well. And I'm guessing that's more or less to combat the comb filtering that happens whenever something physically goes through a micro perf or acoustically transparent screen. So that's something to let you guys know about as well. But kind of jumping into more of the advanced details, let's talk about the big broad strokes, right? So this is 109 pounds. It's freaking heavy for a freaking tower, right? Like I was talking about, 3/4 MDF all the way around, acoustically inert. Comes in 2 finishes. You'll notice the Macassar Ebony that's on it right now, and then they have a straight up piano black type of finish. So you have a couple different options to go with. If this wood type of effect isn't your jam, they do have that Yes, Mr. Wayne, it comes in black type of appearance as well. So the front is, you're going to be covered up with a magnetic grille. This magnetic grille is freaking heavy too, so I would recommend paying attention to your kids, because if they're walking around this thing pulling off the grills and it falls on them, it'll probably, you know, it'll definitely leave a mark. And if you guys are letting your kids walk around these things and they knock them over, you might need to get a new kid, because these things are freaking heavy too. So besides that, it does have a beefy type of configuration to it. It has a presence, right? So 4 8-inch drivers from the top, and then the bottoms up. And then in their MTM, which is their mid-range, it has 5 1/4 inch drivers with a 1-inch tweeter that's aluminum and magnesium. It's a dome tweeter. These are glass type of drivers in there. And overall, even if you don't even have a lot of wattage with them, I think their recommended amplifier power is somewhere between 25 and 300. So it's pretty good range. And then also there's an asterisk behind that because they're 6 ohm speakers. So you're gonna wanna push this with 4 ohms, probably not 8 ohms if you guys have that ability for your amplification. But I've had this on a small little Denon integrated amplifier. It's, you know, one of their new ones. I think it's the PMA 150. I think it pumps out like 75 watts at 8 ohms and 150 watts at 4, but nothing extravagant. So the units just sing. So you can just put these without subwoofers and they'll sound amazing. And then you can put them with the subwoofer and then it really evens everything out throughout its entire tone. The thing that I like the most about them is whenever instead of just using them for, you know, stereo, whenever I was setting up the room, you know, I would just plop on, you know, pull up my phone, cast to the Denon, and then the Denon would power the speakers on. And the thing that I like the most just from doing that The biggest jump was whenever I hooked them up for home theater. So it's different than a lot of the sound signatures that you've heard before, because typically you're used to a ported type of speaker, whether it be a tower, you know? It's either gonna be front ported, rear ported, bottom ported. Either way, it's more than likely ported. These are fully sealed speakers. So the cool thing with these is you can shove them right up against the wall if you wanted to. You can, you know, have them out in the room. You can have them towed in a decent amount. But the thing that I think is the coolest is the sound signature that you get. The transients and time alignment is the deal. It's the deal breaker on this thing. It makes the system. So I'm really impressed with those. Incredibly detailed and crisp sounding speakers. They are a little more neutral than anything else. I don't consider these things being bright, but they are lightning fast. So whenever there's, you know, an explosion or something like that, or there's the really high note, like whenever you're listening to some live music, it really just punches straight through the room and it hits you as soon as it comes out. So there's no delay and there's none of that. That's gonna bog it down from your overall experience. So highly impressed with that. And that's basically my experience with the towers. Well, all right, so let's jump into the center channel. This is the Atlantic Technologies 8600 series C. So C stands for center channel. All of these, like I'm talking about right now, they are all sealed, and that goes into the design. One thing I forgot to talk about over here on the towers is that whenever you're, if you were to disassemble these things, but you're probably not going to, the center part, the mid-range, it's sealed from the rest of the unit itself. The construction is 3/4 inch MDF, acoustically inert, so this stuff is nice and isolated from the rest of your system. Because obviously if you have some super crazy big drivers like this, and even if you don't, you know, maybe you have like some 6.5s, but if you have some bigger, you know, type of radiators, if it's not sealed from your mids, so whenever these things flex and, you know, do your action parts and explosions, it's going to press that force back into the box because it's zero sum, right, since it's sealed, and it's going to push out those mids and give you distortion. So they combated that by, you know, putting these things completely in its own little chamber so that, you know, if you can have explosions, you can have, you know, registers going from octaves all the way to crazy or higher octaves, and then none of that stuff crosstalks with each other. So I think that's what adds to the little bit of magic that's within these speakers as well. So I'm saying that to say that with this design. So those were 8-inch drivers. These are 6.5 inch. So there's 4 of them. And just look at it. I'm gonna step out of frame real quick just to show you guys. So this thing is not small. It is freaking massive. I had to build a center speaker stand to legitimately handle the weight of this thing. Cause you know, at my last place I had like a floating shelf, which was cool and all, but this is a 91-pound speaker. So it's it definitely has a lot more heft than the small one that I'm used to. And at the same time, this one is 108 pounds. So these are some big beefy bad boys, right? So with that big beefy badness, you have the 6.5 inch drivers there, same design as the ones you'll see right here, just a little bit smaller, same MTM, 5.25 inch. The difference is the tweeter. So that's kind of weird. I wanted to address that now because I noticed that with the towers, they have a 5.25 inch driver with the 1-inch aluminum magnesium dome tweeter, and then another 5.25 inch. On the center speaker, you have 5.25 inch silk dome tweeter, and then another 5.25 inch. So typically across the front stage, you're gonna have, I copy and paste, like left, center, and right, it's gonna be exactly the same. I don't know why they did it like this, and it's kind of intriguing too, because I haven't heard a lot of silk dome tweeters that actually sound good. Usually it's some of the stuff that you would notice with the cheaper brands, but at the same time, I kind of want to double back on myself and kind of think about it like this. If you go to a seafood restaurant, right, and you judge every seafood restaurant by a very cheap a very cheap type of seafood restaurant, then if you go to a nice seafood restaurant, it's not the same, right? So you get a better experience over here, probably more often than not, you know, because of different factors, including that. So it's kind of a weird roundabout way of saying that all my reservations for silk dome tweeters have been pretty much reset because this thing is actually very impressive. Besides that, I really like the overall configuration here. These things are just big, freaking massive, monster, beefy units, right? They are incredibly detailed. They are incredibly durable. Like, you can sit here and crank these things. The recommended amplifier power is anywhere between 25 and 300. I'm pretty sure I've given it more than 300. and these things they don't complain at all. They sound amazing, and they can take the abuse, and they can give you extreme silky butterfly like effects, and then they can give you that super heavy sledge of just sound whenever you need it to. So it's a good little dance in between the easygoing and the unforgettable. So I really enjoy these things. I would highly I would challenge anyone to test out this set and not be impressed with them. They are just incredible units, and I would highly recommend these to anyone. Again, they come with a price tag, guys. I do reviews of all kinds of stuff, whether it be expensive stuff or less expensive things. These are on the upper register, so if you can afford it, highly recommend checking them out. If you can't, then there's plenty of other stuff out there for you. But Atlantic Technologies isn't just a crazy expensive brand too. They do have other items in their lineup. I will be testing out their brand new smaller tower series, and then they have some THX series lineups as well as architectural series. There is a chance for me to review those in the future, so I'm going to check those out and then let you guys know what I think about those as well. But this video was just dedicated for the 8600 lineup. I do have that sub back there. Whether I'll be able to get out a review in time for you guys, it's up to chance. But the experience that I've had with these in the house for the last several months, I'm highly impressed with them, and I think you guys will be too. So that's all I got for you guys. Make sure you like, favorite, share, and subscribe. I got plenty of more videos coming to the theater. I got more surprises that you guys haven't seen, and there's just so much things to let you know about, but I don't want to just do it just yet, because I know there's a lot of people out there that are trying to steal my ideas. But that's all I got for you guys. I'll catch you on the next one.